Hello guys, welcome to another episode of Ktv Real Time Repairs. What do we have for you today? So here we have a Pifco 16-inch stand fan, and it's a real-time repair, so you get to see it all in real time. So what's the issue? Well, I got this on the side of the street again because there's not a lot to go wrong with fans, and it's the summertime, as you can imagine, and I got this thing working with a little bit of WD-40. However, it stopped again, and it wasn't jammed, it wasn't clogged because it was cleaned. So it leads to this little baby over here. This is a fan start capacitor. This is a 1.5 microfarad capacitor, 450 volts AC. This is a new one, and there's an old one, so we're going to be changing it out. Let's just show you what it does before, so you get a rough idea what's going on. So you put it on speed 1, and it's making a hum. Goes 2, and then when it gets 3 it starts up normally. So I believe these capacitors need to charge up to 110 volts before they're deemed workable, before they can work. So the way we do that is, obviously this one has, over time it cycles and then the capacitor wears off, and some people would throw it away and be like, nah, why a new one? Not KTV, because there is nothing wrong with this device. All it needs is a little bit of love, and it's quite simple to do. So what you do, you need to take the grill off. You need to take the grill off, and once you take the grill off, and yes, I did get a little bit sunburned today, or I feel I've got a little bit of sunburn coming on because I was out there today repairing something else. So there's the nut and bolt, make sure to keep that safe. And let's take the fan's guard off. The plug on it, someone thought that'd be very smart and not include a plug on it, however that's very easy to do, and I just got a sweet plug in this case. And as you can see, I've taken this off before, so I'm not scared to take it out again. So the way I got this out last time, because it is a little bit of a different one, you have to tighten it this way. So I tend to get a big flathead screwdriver off there. I don't know why Pifco intended on designing it like that. I suppose it's just to scare you out that you can't get inside, but really it's quite simple to do. And this one should be very much the same. So now we have a raw motor assembly. One thing that would be cool is to see how this motor operates on its own. And it's not even spinning at all. So now let's presume we're getting this front cover off. Get a little bit of a better screwdriver for better grip. So we've got to take you apart like so. Really I should be using electrical rated screwdrivers, however, shh, I'm sure health and safety won't mind. We are in lockdown and we do surround the tools we have. Yes guys, in all fairness, I do have electrical screwdrivers, I just can't be bothered to get to them at the moment. These screws are doing the fine and I'm taking the machine apart, so I'm not actually touching anything electrical. However, when I touch the electrics, I'll be taking this off. So at the front, there's the coils to the motor, and this little thing, you have to put it up. Put this and the gears in a safe place, and that way you won't be losing anything, then you know what screws go where. So let's get a closer look so far. So we have the coils to the motor. So let's flip the thing around. And oh, how cute. I'm sorry. We have a security screw. Oh, you don't want me in there. You don't want me in there. Oh, really? Very cute indeed. Yeah, that was very secure, wasn't it? Right, okay. Now keep that drum safe. This is the part we are after. So this is a capacitor that charges up to 415 volts. That should be able to mount in there as it is. So what we need to do, we need to cut the old capacitor out. It's probably the easiest way. I know you do need to be very careful when doing this, just in case there is an excess charge. There might be a little bang. Try and get as much stuff as you can. Now let's pull the old boy out. You've done us well, 2002. I'm sure you've been through a lot of summer. I'm sure you've been through that heat wave in 2003. You've done your job, old boy. However, time for your part. You notice they make them smaller. However, is it okay? I think it'll be absolutely fine. There's nothing showing that capacitor. So let's save the screw to that capacitor to install it into the new one. So the way I'm going to save this from being ripped out of the coil, I'm going to get this wire here, and I'm going to grab my good old wire cutters, from my granddad, and take the heat shrink out, hold it very carefully, and attempt to, there we go, we just need a little bit of the cable exposed, very, very carefully. This will lessen up the blow to the pulling on the insides of the thing. Come on. There we go. That should be enough. Maybe a little bit more for you. There we go. Now, we obviously have to seat our capacitor first. Let's put our capacitor in the seat. This isn't really tinned enough to my satisfaction, so what I'm going to do quickly is do the same theory over here, the same idea. I'm going to follow it over here, hold it with a wire in this way. We are not putting strain on the internals of the capacitor nor the fan. Right, okay, so I'm happy with that. So now we have to screw our fan. Will this screw be any good or not? I'm hoping so. It's nice how they've included a screw on it. They clearly do want you to repair it. However, I don't think that screw will reach. Right, no problem. Bear with me, guys. This is Ktv Real time repairs, so we have it all in real time. Weld the Quicksilver. How will it takes to get the fan capacitor in the seat. To be honest, I am actually really hot right now, so this is the worst thing to possibly go wrong. Of all things to go wrong, it has to be a fan, doesn't it? It's like, it's probably same in the winter with people. You're really cold and then you want a heater, and then all of a sudden you find that your heater's packed up. That's in there very loosely, so I'm not that satisfied because I don't want it to fall when I'm trying to use it. I don't want the capacitor to fall and touch the coils and then cause all hell to break loose. So I'm going to use a screw slightly longer to, oh, don't worry about that, to allow the fan to sit lovely where it is. Here's our new capacitor, and that sits in there lovely. Now, to be simple, there's ways of connecting up. You could use solder, heat shrink. However, let's think in the future. this capacitor is most likely to go bad again, because that is the life of them electrolytics. They work, then they wear themselves out. So let's just give this capacitor a little bit of help by installing it via terminal blocks. Then this way you won't have to worry about it when it breaks in the future. It will be easy for you to repair. Oh God. Right, okay. There's my big, well, one of my big 16-inch toolboxes there. This thing contains all the terminal blocks and various items that will be needed for this repair. So there's our terminal block. So we need to trim these. I'm thinking trim these individuals, so then when the fan closes it gives it a little bit more leeway. It just, the things have a little bit more, you know, a little bit more move about type thing. I'm hoping the motor got worn out. I'm sure that capacitor was pretty done. In a minute we'll take a test on a multimeter on that. But let's get this boy up and running first. Right, okay, so I have two capacitors compared there. They're about 6 amp ratings, something like that. They're rated perfectly over because this fan has a 3 amp fuse. Therefore, there is nothing wrong. Right, okay, so you want the wires to twist in a way so they're both condoned by the terminal block. This not only makes the best connection, but it also risks the risk of short circuiting and any other faults that we do not want to deal with. Okay, so in theory I could plug that in. However, better safe than sorry, it will take me 5 seconds to insulate a capacitor, a terminal block over that. So here's our SEN-U or something capacitor with a 5% tolerance. This is what I hate about lockdown. I'm having to buy parts on eBay when really I personally would have went to PJ Electrics to buy this part, because obviously Will from PJ Electrics will know exactly what to do, and I need to be very careful with that coil when it's plugged in, because that will store the electricity, because obviously motors run by magnets, and this is one thing we don't want to do. We don't want to touch that when it's plugged in, basically, which I ain't going to do. Right, so we have the motor shaft, and I'm satisfied by how tight these terminal blocks are put, so I'm satisfied on that instance. Let's plug this bad boy in. And it's turning. No, it isn't. So could this motor be bad, or is the capacitor not connected? Right. This shaft has went quite stiff actually. So why aren't you turning? Let's see if we can. So, you turn. Right, well, can we repair this? The best thing to try is that capacitor taking a charge, is the first thing I'm after. Let's set up the voltage pen and try and find out if that capacitor is taking a charge. So we go to voltage on the LOP socket, on the LOP tester, we go to function, Make sure we're on AC. We're on alternating current. AC and okay, voltage. So let's let that capacitor move. And see if I can. Right, let's get ourselves a little bit of WD-40 inside that motor. You try and find any mechanical parts of that motor. So we can do it when it's plugged in. The joints, anything. Try not to do it on the coils as well if you can help it. However, you do want to feed it in a way that it will go over the parts. Now I'm going to work that's definitely loosening the shaft. Where's that motor reel? Right. Work that motor across. It's lovely and smooth now. Can I test the old capacitor quickly? There's the old capacitor. So here's the old capacitor. Let's test. It was storing no voltage, which is good. However, we want resistance on it. Function, continuity across it. There's no continuity, but we also don't get a reading. And we aren't getting ohms at that. I believe we're meant to get an ohms reading off that. Right. Well, let's test at this plug for short circuit, because we don't want to plug it in if it's short circuited by that oil. So we've got to go to touch this together, pull it on our plug, and there is no short circuit. Let's put the switch on so it actually will. Nope, there's no short circuit there. Where's our 0 and our, where's our off switch? 1, 0, 1. Let's try this thing on number 1 while we're having the problem. And it's going again. Does it go up to 2 for us? And the motor's on 3. Okay. I'm going to say oil that motor up a little bit more after I've let it discharge a little bit, because obviously that is not meant to do that, as we know. It needs to work spick for us. I'm trying not to get on the coils, and I want to go on all the mechanical parts. So I'm going to use my pliers just to move the thing. I use my adjustable wrench just to move the thing back and forth a little bit to try and get it back into gear. So just move that back and forth. Should them bearings be loose, it wouldn't be a bad idea to check all our screws. Oh, It did not appreciate that, did it? So all our screws are tight, which is a good start. So this is the mechanical bearings of the motor. So what I'm going to do, that's a transformer, so I'm not going to touch that because that is involved with the AC electricity. Could this fan be its end of life? Let's hope not, because I don't want to put this fan to rest in peace yet. Right, let's let that run on speed 1. We just touch up the screwdriver too. It's going the way a fan would go. Is that a nut over there on the front? So maybe if that's a nut and that's running loose, that could be one of the reasons why it isn't working properly. Because if it's got a loose nut on it, then it's not going to work properly, is it? So we know the fan moves around a magnetic force. We know that they're involved by magnetic forces. I don't want to piss this thing in oil because obviously it's an electrical device and we know that water and electrical don't mix. However, my granddad did tell me that apparently WD-40 isn't conductive to electricity. However, to that capacitor over there and to the capacitor over there and the 240 volts AC at the mains, is that, you know, because 240 is very strong, as we know, that could change. There's no short circuits, which is already an excellent start. Let's plug this thing in again and try again. So our motor starts up again. One, two, three. I'm pretty ready to say, I'm pretty confident that we can get this thing back together now. We'll see how it assembles, in what way it will assemble, how it will go back, and then we will start from there. That is my best bet to it. If we can't repair this, yes, we've lost a fan, however at the same time it was worth the attempt. However, I'm pretty convinced, because these things, you will be surprised guys, very little things can go wrong with these. Right, okay. There is obviously wire in the way now with that screw terminal, so there is obviously some new spaces I've put into its attention. I've put some new spaces on it, so okay. Now let's get the front face on first with our motor sheave. So let's get the front motor gear on before we start doing anything. Let's get this motor face on. Just to hold the fan together, I'm going to push this oscillation switch on nice and tight so it doesn't pull out anywhere, because that was a problem last time. I was using this in the short time it was working, then it kind of slipped on me, and then, you know, it didn't really appreciate what I was doing to it. I wasn't abusing it, guys. I was just using it like a person. However, when I pulled its adjusting, it was sore there, and it didn't really appreciate me pulling its adjusting. It used to pull the oscillation thing out. Bear in mind, I did take it apart before that, so my presumption is that I've misplaced something together. However, now I've found the fault and I know now to push that fan in correctly. So let's let you go down. This is the thing with machine screws, you have to be very accurate how you go over them, because they can be very directional. The thread has to be perfect on them. One thing that relates to this is furniture. If you have them, what they call them, Allen key things, if you don't do them accurately, then it won't bite and you will have hell to pay. So we can see the thread is over there, magnetic screwdriver to the rescue, and you just got to get you fully over. Okay, now I'm happy with you. Oh, actually, am I happy? However, you've got to bear in mind the back screw isn't on yet, so let's get this back screw on and see where we turn from there. And while we're at it, we just need to test as we go along through various stages of the installation, because otherwise, you know, imagine putting it all together and find out it doesn't work. Right, so our security screw has fallen out. Brilliant-o. Hang on, guys. I've seriously lost the security screw part. The machine screw. Oh no. Unless there's anything shaking in it. Could there be any possibility that that security screw has slipped through and fallen into the bottom of the machine? We might have to take this off again because I cannot see it anywhere locally around the area. It's not... Oh, no, that was a Phillips head. These screws are all miscellaneous, so we are going to have to take this off. Have a look for that lost screw. Hang on, could it be in my iFixit kit, because it was a security screw, and that's the only screwdriver I have that will undo that. If not, we're going to have to find an alternative. However, I'm hoping somewhere we will have the proper screw. I'm thinking last time I got the fan back on all. See, that's what I'm after, they all fall out on it. Right, okay. There's no lost screws down there. I'll slide the back off quickly just to verify that. Nope, we have no lost screws in the presence of that. Lovely. Will it have to operate with a missed screw, or is there any... I don't really want to operate with a missed screw, but if I have no choice, I have no choice. But then again, knowing me, I'll find it later. Oh, hang on. Oh, we have it. Right, okay. Sorry about that. Let's put the security screw on first, because it probably will be a little bit easier on that, to be honest with you. So we put this little one in first, the security screw in the back of it. There was a little grommet for it. Someone tried drilling it out to take it apart before, which shows you that it's been tampered with before. Well, I bet by the looks of it they thought it was a Phillips head. They've drilled it out and they thought nah, and then they've thrown it away. By the looks of it, they probably didn't have the various screws to do it. However, that doesn't scare KTV off. That will not scare KTV off. If I don't have the screw, I will order the part till I do, and this thing is not going in properly. come out. Will this pick it out? There's a little thing. If it was in there. A magnetic bit. That's a magnetic bit from my aunt, but it didn't seem to want to. There you are. Oh, hello. Right, this thing's probably sensitive on how it goes in. Is there any terminal blocks or wires blocking it or anything? No, these things again, they're like Allen keys, they have to be in dead straight, otherwise they're not going to go in at all. They have to go in dead straight, otherwise there's going to be trouble for them. Come on. Come on, in you come. Come on. Come on. This is really starting to wind me up. With the next size up of that bit, fit it a little bit better. It might be a bit more firm with it. Yes, it is actually. There we go. That always seems like it's going in there. Maybe not. Hooray! It's a silly little comb. That's what's really frustrating. It seems simple when it's up there, but when you actually try and get your bit into it, because it has a drop, it kind of doesn't go in. So you have to kind of get it dead perfect over there, and it has to go perfectly. It's like electrical screws, for example. Electrical screws have the exact same problem as this. Really, this is where I'll be quite short-tempered with this, because I really don't like this. I don't see why it has to have this. It's just some way to make it harder, because I know Pifco want you to buy a new fan, obviously, just like any company. There we go, it's in now. Just like any company, they want you to buy a new one. So if you want to get in there, you have to suffer the hell with a lot of swearing and a lot of commitment. You'll do it. That's the way I see it. So now let's get this little front plate on it, which should have come on in the first. I should have really put that on before I should have really put the back on first, to be honest. These ones do seem to be a little bit softer with you. See, that's bitten over there already, I believe. Maybe not. My favourite. Get it on. My favourite. They really don't want you in this fan, do they? Probably because it's so simple to repair. And this is going to work, probably. Yep, that was nowhere even near the machine holes. Okay, that's good, because that shows you it's pushing in. And we have the fan there. So we have to screw this in. And we have our last screw over here to go in. And to be honest, it would not hurt it to have a little bit of WD-40 down that tube again, would it? Just make sure it's on 0. Lovely. Two, three. The only thing is I'm wondering if that is actually loose bearing, but I think motors do naturally have a bit of move, because I know my John Lewis desk fan does actually have a little bit of a move. So let's see how it supports the weight of the blades. So let's switch the electric off, health and safety, and we've got tights this way. I believe it was the capacitor wasn't charging, because I know it's still jammed after the new capacitor, However, you've got to bear in mind, you've got to give it a chance. It's just had to endure whatever damage that capacitor has given it over the years, because obviously that capacitor wasn't giving it enough charge, therefore it's giving the motor stress. So obviously things have seized up in there, and the motor's been like, why should I work for you? You know, you've stressed me out so much, and I need to work. So therefore, the motor's kind of got its own back and kind of went, yeah, you know, I want to work for you, but you have to do some work on me first. You have to do a little bit of TLC on me first, which is okay because I enjoy that, so that is all fine for me. Right, why isn't this blade all of a sudden not going through? Okay, hang on. How does this blade go on now? It's not fitting onto the motor mechanism. It's going to have to be a very, very precise fit. There we go. So, tighten and loosen. So tighten, you have to go left. So let's tighten. Not too tight, but tight, so it just knows. So it's just in there so the blades won't fly off. So then it gives the motor a little bit more. Then the motor doesn't have to work, because I reckon that motor was getting jammed as well. It didn't help the motor. Give the blades a good spin. And I'll just do a quick test with my tester again to make sure there's no short circuit present. Health and safety. Nope, there isn't. So let's plug this thing in now. And it's starting up to speed 1. That normally starts up slowly. Speed 2. Speed 3. Hooray! Can it slow down? What way are the blades going? That way. Yep, that motor, that fan is absolutely fine now. So let's get the blades on and there we go. Again, that it was shaking a bit, so that does need to be a little bit tight, because that shouldn't have any shake to it ideally. That's okay. Maybe just tighten this one up. Speed 3, yes, you work fine. So let's turn you off. Just stop hassling you out. Let's get behind them blades and just tighten up the... Make sure that these are tight. Yep, they're tight as they can go. So, therefore, you come through here, fit on, tighten that way. Just to make sure that it's tight. It wouldn't hurt using a flathead, just like how I've done it. So to tighten you have to go that way. Just do about half a turn. There you go, not too tight, just on the loose side, so then the blades can move around freely. So let's get the front on for it. Let's get the face on. And as you can imagine, during this hot times, it's very, very happy to do. It's lockdown fun for me. I enjoy it thoroughly, and I just saved a fan from the landfill. Hopefully this will be abruptly tested next. I'll do an upgrade video if you want. If you like, I'll do a video on how this thing's been getting on. I'll just make sure it's secure. There's a bit of filler stuck to it, which already is a nice start to it. Let's use our small Phillips head to start off this bolt in here. Start this little screw off. Then I'll put the little nut around my finger and let the screw drive through that. So let's let the screw come through to the other side. Now we put our nut on the other side, and we need to allow the nut to work its way to secure the fan. This nut isn't really that essential, however, safety first. You don't want some idiot to come along and take the blades off and start throwing things into it. What might be an idea is to upgrade the blades to a newer, more lightweight plastic, because they are a little bit heavy on the motor, and I'm thinking if it has to carry that load it has to work a little bit harder, doesn't it? Whereas the other one, the night one, has lighter blades. Okay, here we go. There we go. And beautiful. So now this fan can go home sweet home with its other one, with the night. So that's 2 street fans repaired. People throw these things away, guys. Really, what can go wrong with them? They're so simple. Have I got the little... Yeah, I'll switch something on. There's a quick upgrade on my night as well. My night fan's still going strong. That thing has been keeping me cool. And now you will be keeping me cool, Mr. Pifco. So I hope you enjoyed this episode of Ktv Real Time Repairs. Like if you always keep this going, and I will. Bye guys. Remember to like, comment, subscribe for more videos like this.